My friend dared me to build a 1,000 subscriber rocket if I hit 1,000 subscribers, and well, at a 1,000 subscribers, it is time to do just that, and live up to my name, The Rocket Builder. So I did what any good YouTuber do, and I spent 20 minutes just finding the perfect seed to build this rocket in. It has a beautiful set of mountain ranges all around, but right here in the valley is where I'm going to build this rocket. So I started out by building a large platform to build this entire rocket. Now for me, building is one of the harder things to do in Minecraft, so that's why I spent 2 days on just the design of the rocket. I needed a design that I could of course move up with flying machines and pistons, so it couldn't be too block heavy, but at the same time it needed to look like a rocket, like, you know, a cartoonish rocket. So I started out with this full design, and I mean, come on, what's not wrong with this rocket? And after a couple of variations, I finally settled on this one, which gotta say I'm pretty proud of myself for this. So with the rocket design and the seed in hand, it is time to finally start building the rocket ship. Now in order to make a rocket ship that doesn't use command blocks or really any other different bugs or hacks or add-ons to Minecraft, you have to use flying machines. Now flying machines all revolve around pistons pushing blocks and pulling blocks in specific orders that ends up making it look like it's flying when really it's just being pushed multiple times. Now this isn't my first rodeo with flying machines. If you guys have been around for a while, you might remember this semi-automatic lava bucket farm, which was my actual first attempt with flying machines. I built the first ever lava bucket farm in Minecraft before lava was, you know, easy to farm, so this video has a special place in my heart. But this was my only experience with flying machines, and that's horizontal, and it was about 20 blocks, and this rocket's supposed to be over 1,000 blocks, and it has to be vertical and has to fly to build height. So basically, I had no experience in this flying machine space. So, you know, the best way to learn is to just dive right into it and drown if you must. So I went to the top of the rocket and did just that. I started putting a bunch of pistons down, some slime blocks, honey blocks. Now the one issue you might have thought I ran into a lot, the 12 block piston push limit. Let me just tell you, 12 blocks is a lot fewer blocks than you might think, especially when you're building an over 1,000 block subscriber rocket. Yeah, 12 blocks is too small. Mojang, you really need to increase your piston push limit. Anyhow, I did that. I started putting pistons down, started working out with layouts, pushing it up one block to see if the entire thing would work. And you know what? I was slowly making progress. Made my way to about 100 pistons and observers, and then it stopped working. Now here's the thing, I'm doing all this in case you can't tell on Minecraft Bedrock Edition, the superior version of Minecraft of course, but there is some issues with Minecraft Bedrock Redstone, and that has to do with some of the reliability, and observers are not known to be the most reliable thing, especially with super laggy things. And I don't know, maybe pushing a couple thousand blocks at once is a little bit laggy for you, Minecraft, so I gotta get rid of those observers. So I spent a little bit of time, and I eventually settled on this easy little redstone block solution. Since redstone blocks are always powered, it causes way less lag, and this will hold the piston and remaining it powered until it actually gets pushed. So you know what, I think that works pretty well, and this is how I ended up basing the entire system. So using this redstone block configuration, I started to of course make my way further down the rocket past 100, 200, 300, 400 plus blocks. Now once I made it around the center of the rocket, this is where things got a bit more complicated. Up until this point, I've been doing kind of a star formation, having the center of the rocket get pushed up, and that kind of splits off into multiple different sections, and that just trickles up, kind of like a domino effect. And this was what was, of course, pushing the entire rocket up. But when I was starting to get to the legs or wings of the rocket, it was going to be a bit more challenging because, of course, they get further and further apart, and the 12 block piston push limit really does hurt in this situation. So, of course, I needed to figure something out, and that is when I remembered that sticky pistons exist. Now, of course, you would think, who would use sticky pistons? You're trying to push blocks, not pull them. But if you think about it, instead of pushing the blocks up, if you're pulling the blocks up, you're still doing the same action, and you are using the same number of blocks, and you're doing the exact opposite. So I was still able to use the domino effect from the star thing, except using sticky pistons, I could condense it all and actually make it work. So from the wings on, I switched all the way to sticky pistons, and of course this was relatively easy, and I actually got the entire rocket to move one block. Surely it cannot fail from this point, and yeah, it failed. So basically, you know that when I was talking about observers being slightly laggy, so that's why I stopped using them. Well, what I didn't mention was when I started using sticky pistons, the redstone block trick doesn't work because, of course, the pistons need to activate and then deactivate. In order to do that, you need to use observers. I'm sure there's a way to do it with redstone blocks, but that's too complicated for this little brain to handle. So I used observers, and a lot of them, all at once while you're doing the wings, and a lot of moving blocks. So again, I ran into the same issue, too many blocks moving at once, and observers are just over lagging out. So, you know what, at this point I took a break. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I have been working on this for over a month now. I had just hit 1,000 subscribers, super pumped, ready to get the video out. The entire rocket was done, and it just didn't work. So, I took a break. I took about a week or two, and then I finally came back into the smartest thing I've ever done in this project, and that was start from scratch. Of course, I said I had no flying machine experience before, but now I'm a master. I spent a month on a flying machine, and also, if you have ever worked with flying machines, you would know that if you spend more than 2 minutes away from your flying machine, you're going to forget how to anything works. What is all this stuff doing? How is this working? How is this even able to move one block? So that's basically my mind at this point. The entire system is, I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, I don't even know how it moved one block, much less how I'm going to make it move more than one. So the easiest and best thing to do is just scrap the entire thing. We know the thing doesn't work. I'll copy the world along with 33 other times in order to make sure that this system works. And it's time to start from the very beginning, and we need to work with what we know works, which is pushing up. So that means no sticky pistons whatsoever. So I did that. I started with a star formation at the very bottom and only did it once, and then had the domino effect going all the way up the rocket, and then I'll have a single line going straight down to continue the loop and make the engine. So with all that being said, 2 months later, it is finally time to launch the largest rocket in Minecraft.